that part of Africa. In South Africa, 1913, you had the Native Land Act, 1913, right? The further solidified white land grab South Africa. You had that in Kenya, you had that throughout, South, Central, and East Africa. What we want today, right? A country like Kenya, right? Kenya, right, is still controlled by Britain. Forget the fact that, and even the country of Kenya was very taken control by the United States that the Kenya is still operating under that colonial constitution. Right? But Kenya is a country that is ruled wholesale by Britain. For example, right? So actually the main hospital went there as well. This country that's frankly were not turned up by focus by actually they were by design. Because the people she went to are very strategically important for Britain's role in the further colonization of Africa, because Africa is colonized. Africa has been never free. Forget this fiscal independence that like from Kwame Nkrumah and Eintracht got. No, right? That was political. Right? Economically, we are still aligned to those boundaries that were drawn in 1884. So Kenya, right? White Sheep was there, right? There's more than 300 British companies operating in Kenya, right? And plus, there's over 7,000. Yeah, I'm going to say that again. There's more than 7,000 British army personnel stationed in Kenya, right? And also, during the colonial era, right, the British colonialists, right, discovered, quote unquote, that Kenya had mass reserves, right, of gold, diamonds, gemstones, other minerals, and also oil, right? And so why they created these reserves, whereby that will not be touched. So even Kenyatta doesn't know about that. The oil people of Kenya don't know about that.
But yes, because nothing as such has been actually mined. The only thing that Kenya have right about now, as I said, Kenya is the fourth largest country in the world that's actually supply tea. So Kenya is the fourth largest tea supplier around the world. Away from that product, 75% of the Kenyan people are actually employed by the economic system, the product, the farming industry in Kenya.
Yeah.
So farming is top of Kenya. But away from that, yes, Kenya does refinement of oil. Away from that, then I can't see why Theresa May want to get into Kenya. Then again, I haven't heard nothing from Russia, considering that Russia was one of the first country that actually was into Kenya, that actually been part of Kenya. How come we haven't heard nothing from Russia so far?
Exactly, and this is what I'm saying to you, that Kenya has some reserves of gold, gemstones and diamonds that haven't been tapped. It's still on the ground. So you've got these forages in Kenya, right? Like the Masai Mara Reserve, like the Tabo East Reserve, Tabo West Reserve, some Brewery Nature Reserve, and the many reserves amongst 12 others, right? That under these reserves, that was put up by the British, under these reserves, under the ground, there is gold, diamonds, gemstones, platinum, right? That haven't been untapped. And this is why Theresa May, right, has gone. When we know that she signed unilateral and bilateral agreement with Uhuru Kenyatta that we don't know the details of. So I bet you any money, right, it would be to, untap various oil, gold, diamonds, platinum, and gemstones that Kenya has got in abundance, right? So this is why Theresa May is there, or was there, because these agreements are signed. The UK needs to help because the UK is basically dead. Right? Brexit has destroyed this country. This is now why Britain is now going back to her colonies, right? Because Ghana, Nigeria, Uganda, Sierra Leone, the Gambia, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, they are still colonies of the British Crown because they are under the Commonwealth of Nations that is spearheaded by the British Crown in Buckingham Palace. Theresa May is a representative of the Queen of England. So Theresa May has gone to these three important countries of Nigeria, South Africa, and Kenya to orchestrate Britain's interest after Brexit. And this is why now, like I said, she signed it multilateral and bilateral agreements with Uhuru Kenyatta to untap, right, there's diamond, gold, and mineral reserves that Kenya has in abundance.
Well, of course, and you have missed one of the largest producer coffee, because Kenya produce coffee as well.
Yeah, indeed, yes, indeed. So this is why she's there, man. She's not there to further, you know, she's still going to invest in Africa, man.
Well, we see that. Brother Kwame, are we looking at the new world order where Africa is still on its face, where the world is caving in on Africa?
Well, this is a new world order. There is a new world order. The new world order is who can get Africa's resources. And this is why I said at the beginning of my presentation that you've had all these world powers, India, China, Japan, Russia, Turkey, right now America, Britain and France and now Germany coming to Africa this year alone. And we're 9 months into the year. Why are they in Africa? Because Africa is their final frontier. All these countries need the resources of Africa for their own industrial development. Because that's the name of the game, industrial development. Because without industrial development, they're not going to be, you know, the technology of the future, there's not going to be the jobs of the future, therefore the wealth of the future will not be created. So all these countries are looking to Africa, to source Africa, to pimp Africa for their own industrial future and the future of their population. It's a shame that our leaders don't know what the game is, because if they did, there'll be Africa to Africa, you know, agreement. And this is why it's very important that national leaders, right, must sign this Africa Free Consensus Treaty that was introduced in Kigali, Rwanda, in March of this year. Therefore, only 24 countries are put into it. It is ironic that South Africa and Nigeria, the two biggest economies in Africa, haven't put their name to it. But yet, they want to do business with Britain, France, and Germany, not knowing that if we do business together amongst ourselves, that alone can make the conference on a more rapid scale than investing with your former, well, your current slave owners. So I don't think our leaders understand what time it is, because if they did, they will put more time and emphasis on solidifying this free African Consensus Trade Agreements, right, than having bilateral talks with China, India, Britain, or America.
Okay, Brother Kwame, you can come back when we look at Juliet Malema. Give thanks, my beloved brother.
All right, give thanks. So our people need to know what is really going on.
Well,
don't let that fool you, man.
we give thanks for your insight.
So you're saying that, you know, they come to invest Africa, they're not. They're going to take out of Africa.
Very much so. Give thanks, my beloved.
Right, give thanks.
The Vibration Galaxy, as we take your call 0207 193 0174. 0207 193 0174 for you to make your contribution here in Galaxy as we speak about the fact that we see the colonization, the new colonization of Africa, where we see Theresa May is in Africa. Why? Or is it the fact that she wants to actually hide the good news or the bad news by running to Africa? So the news for her exit of Brexit out of Europe is Africa take the strain. So she run to Africa. What say you this afternoon? Let me hear your voice. Let me hear your opinion. Let's take a walk into Kenya and hear what she has to say as she was in Kenya. We know where she was. Well, let's take a walk into Kenya and hear what she's got to say while she was there. Before we go into Kenya, I think we have got Sister Win on the line. Let's hear what Sister Win has got to say first before we go into Kenya. Good afternoon to you, Sister Win.
Good morning. Good afternoon, Marquis. How are you doing?
We give thanks. Thanks for asking. And how are you?
I'm doing extremely well.
Glad to hear.
Good afternoon to the entire family and to Brother Kwame again for excellent background interview, perspective on what's going on in our motherland. My chief, I have one disagreement with Brother Kwame.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. We share and we experience and actually, you know, we learn from that. No problem at all. Let me hear your disagreement.
It's not a controversial one. And it's the word that he used to say that she's a hypocrite.
Okay.
And I would say she's not, because she told us exactly what she's going into Africa to achieve. The thing is on the side of our leaders to not listening to what she said before she left England. The failure is on the side of our parliamentarians in Africa and in the Caribbean for not paying attention to what happened in America, Australia, New Zealand, and the Caribbean belt. My brother, my observation of our people is this, myself included, we tend not to pay attention to patterns. Some years ago, there was a movie out called Avatar. And I remember phoning in on a show that was run by the young people at the time. If we understood the message of that movie, and even persons that I know were supposed to be social scientists swept it off with one brush, saying that the characters, i.e. the people in the land called Pandora, is a representative of our indigenous people. They failed to see that nearing the end, there was a background sound of drummers showing people coming in. Who do you think those background drummers were, my brother?
Right. Yes, my beloved. I'm listening attentively.
The background drummers, the distant drummers, are those of us who are the children of those generations that were taken out of Africa. They can foresee that we will be coming back.
Yes, 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 yes.
They now see that that which they knew would happen is now taking place because we are going back. Unfortunately, our own mouths are telling them what to put in place to stop our free passage going back. She is doing what they were communicating to each other globally, saying, when you see me start behaving towards Africans around the world in a particular way, don't let your sympathy bag fool you.
Yes, makes sense.
I have never ever watched a movie where the Europeans end the movie with them in the losing position.
True.
And that was the scene we should have all taken note of. They're seeing, sorry, my brother.
No, what I'm saying, my sister, if you and I can read the book and see it from the start of the book until the end of it, we read the cover, we see the contents of the book. How come our African leaders cannot see the contents by allow Teresa to come and to woodwink them in such a way where the world is now looking to see what will be the outcome of what Theresa May promised Africa. Because they are now looking in to see and to hear where this go from here.
My brother, the clip that you played with the interview with Theresa May is very interesting and very symbolic. A statement was made. We are doing this just in case we get no deal.
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Oh, yes.
So if they get their deal, all that promises off the table.
Very much so. Very much so.
Huh?
Very much so, my beloved.
We're doing this to secure our security. It did not mention Africa.
No, it did not. It did not. Africa is only there as a backdrop. Africa is there as a support in case they don't get their deal, then they can bounce back. So Africa is there as the bouncing board for them, and that's what they're doing. It's a pillar. And they're laying on Africa because without Africa, then they will fall through. And this is what African leaders cannot see, where Europe are using Africa as a pivot, a springboard for their economic development.
And this is why I'm saying she's not being an hypocrite.
I hear you.
She told us exactly.
I hear you.
So if she has to dance to the Watusi, the foxtrot, the jigabog, she will do it. Because she knows what is written in those contracts and that those who have received and signed it have not read it.
You see, sis, one other thing, I don't know if there's a bit here that I've seen. I'm just looking at it at the moment, whereas a group of representative that represent Scottish whiskey to join the Prime Minister on her trade boosting visit to Africa. The Scottish Whiskey Association is among 29 representatives showcasing UK businesses. The trip beginning today will visit South Africa, Nigeria and Kenya and meet leaders to firm up the policy making in the to meet entrepreneur. So it just shows you, my beloved sister, they want to go and intoxicate Africa by joining Africa, bringing whiskey into Africa as they were doing before. Nothing hasn't changed. Nothing hasn't changed. So we see what is now happening, my beloved.
My brother Chief, I'm saying, there's a way of describing the thinking of my people. And remember, I said my people, which means
yes.
We have the mentality of a woman in the labor ward. While she's going through the birth pain and feeling it, she said never again. A year later, she's back at the same place doing the same thing. We are not learning from the past, my brother. Because Ghana came out apologizing. And it was very interesting. The deceivers with snaps and other things. Here comes the snaps again. We're gonna let the snaps back in.
You know, my beloved, I'm just reading through as I'm speaking to you now, and she went on to say, I want to see Scottish industry make the most of this opportunity that lie ahead in the vibrant energy making across Africa. You see that? So they are actually making sure they shore up their business sense while Africa goes down. Now, what is it that now this 40 billion that she promised Africa, how will this be distributed across the continent? So it show you, my beloved sister, what she say they're speculating to accumulate, and so she's speculating with 40 billion. How much will she get back out of that 40 billion when she accumulate?
My brother,
not sister.
The May has never seen what 40 billion pounds look like, and she never will, because it's just tapping on a keyboard, sending a figure, say, give this. There's nothing to show that it ain't there.
My beloved, we open pray that African leaders open their eyes to this deal that this sister is trying, this woman, I shouldn't say sister, is bringing in front of them.
My brother, it's too late because they're going to sign.
Well, they signed the deal because we see where Kenya signed a big deal, and Kenya leader said he was just coming over from America. He make a deal with America, and so he's glad that Prime Minister May has come in to do a second deal, which he's now actually signing into. My sister, I think Africa is doomed to where we are now.
I will close with this saying. We are saying today that there was no collusion yesterday. Will we, 1,000 years down the line, be saying that there was no collision today? I leave that with
my beloved. Food for thought. Thank you kindly. It is Galaxy as we take your call. 0207-193-0174. 0207-193-0174. As we take your call this afternoon, we're talking about Mama Africa. We're talking about the deal that has been made by Theresa May in Africa, and we're asking you this afternoon, what say you? If you are if you're an African from the continent, I want to hear from you. I want to hear your voice on the radio. Don't be afraid to put your penny's worth on the radio. It's very important to hear your voice on the radio.
Coming into the country, many would ask, why the sudden interest by the United Kingdom in Africa? She began in South Africa, was in Nigeria, and then this morning has flown into Kenya. Is it all about trade? Is it about investment? Is it about Brexit? Samge Tuku puts all this into perspective.
Theresa May is on her first African tour since becoming British Prime Minister in 2016 and has already made stops in South Africa and Nigeria. And as she prepares to hold talks with President Kenyatta, she has been keen on championing Britain as a trade partner. Her goal to see the UK
how do you spell that?
As the biggest investor in Africa from the G7 nations.
By 2022, I want the UK to be the G7's #1 investor in Africa.
Yeah.
with Britain's private sector
Yes.
companies taking the lead
Yes.
in investing the billions that will see
What's that?
African
Cat.
economies growing by trillions.
H.
And her
Okay.
intentions
That's
of her reason. According to data from the
Larouch.
Central Bank of Kenya, Kenya
A
imported
for
goods
echo,
worth 30
yes.
billion shillings from the UK in 2017. Compare that
PAC.
to
Okay.
57.3 billion shillings worth of imports from rival United
Okay.
States of America.
Yes.
In the export market, the UK still trails the US. Kenyans exporting goods valued at 38.5 billion shillings to the UK in 2017, more than what the UK sold to Kenya, and 47.2 billion shillings worth of goods to the US. President Kenyatta has just returned from the US with a promise of deepening trade ties with Donald Trump's nation, and May arrives in Nairobi hoping to be the better negotiator. But there is a common enemy for both Western nations, and that is China. In 2017, imports from China to Kenya were more than 4 times the volume of imports from both the US and UK combined. 390 billion shillings worth of goods came from China. But it's more a thorn in the flesh for the UK, which leaves the European Union in 2019. With an imminent reduced access to the European market,
Sis,
the UK is keen on
I get the
boosting its
picture.
trade
Thank you very
ties
much.
with partners
Give
outside
thanks.
Europe,
Give
Africa,
thanks,
a key
sis.
target.
Bless.
That is why I want to create a new partnership between the UK and our friends in Africa. One built around our shared prosperity and shared security.
Talks with Kenyatta expected to focus on repatriation of funds believed to be proceeds of economic crimes held in the UK, as well as investment into oil and gas exploration, among other services. Kenyatta will early next week travel to China, where he is expected to speak a similar language with the Chinese leader Xi Jinping. Sam President TV, Nairobi.
Do you believe all of that? Kenyatta no, actually approve the deal that actually been handed to him from the USA and of course from the UK, and he'll be traveling to China. One of my beloved sisters talking about the Bretton Road conference that will be taking place in Beijing coming strong. So the Kenyan leader will be there as well. He'll be there as well because he's trying to drum up as much deal as possible. But how will this deal work out in Kenya? How will this work out in South Africa? How will this work out as you see for yourself? How will this work out? Because in Nigeria, how will it work? What is it that they have got in place? What is it that they're putting in place of what they're taking out? We see what the Chinese are doing in Africa today, and we see where Europe stand. Remember, when this Brexit start up with what is name that prime minister that exit, we don't see much of him anymore. You must realize that it wasn't about Africa. It wasn't about Africa. It was about they get themselves out of Europe. It was about Europe. Now Africa is dragged into it. You see what has been happening? Nothing cannot be done without the breadbasket of the world. The breadbasket got to sign part of what the deal is supposed to be, and Africa is now becoming the backbone of Europe. And the world can see it, but Africa themselves cannot see it. And I'm asking you this afternoon, what say you? I want to hear from our brothers and sisters who are now from the continent who are listening to Galaxy right now. Don't just sit back and let everybody say what they have to say. You've got to say into the matter. You have got to say, do you think this is a right deal that has been made by Europe? Is this the right deal that Theresa has made, and you welcome this deal that Theresa has made? Is this the agenda that you want? See what has been happening with our brothers and sisters. The economy is poor in Africa, but yet Africa has got what the world wants. And at the same time, Africa cannot sell it to the highest bidder. They got to come in and put a price on it, and Africa kneel to the price by saying yes. Why is it Africa cannot say, no, it is time for me to bargain? We got to bargain. This is what we're asking for, what you want out of Africa. Whatever the deal is, you realize what's been happening. Today, all of the commodities in this country, the gas, the water, the electric, you name it, it's been privatized. And Britain is very clever in the way they do it. They make sure they ask you to come in and run it, but you got to pay a price for it. You got to pay a price for it, and so in return, they actually, these investors, they charge you and I arm and a leg. So they got to get their money back. And then Britain got to get their money out of it. So Britain is very clever. When they walk into Africa, you see what Theresa have done? She makes sure she take 29 other businesses into Africa with her. She didn't just walk in there with herself and said, I've got 40 billion to give you. She's seeking trade deal for the betterment of this country. This is what she's doing. She's making sure that when Britain comes out of Europe and all the European leaders who would decide we ain't able to trade with you, she wants to know that Africa is there to shore up and to trade with those who are crying out to her and said, you won't be Prime Minister next time because you didn't get a good deal for us. So she's making sure that there is deal for these countries, for these businesses. What say you this afternoon? The only people that can speak is you. And if you don't want to speak, then everything crash because you gotta have your say. And if you don't have your say, then you approve of what Theresa May is now doing in Africa right about now. We go into Jamaica. Ras Oshing, I'm sorry, my beloved brother. I've just lost you in the system. I do hope you'll be able to actually please accept my sincere apology if I accidentally didn't do it deliberately. You know, sometimes it's I think my fingers are slightly big. I might have to reduce them. But this is where it goes right here in Galaxy. We take your call and have your opinion on the radio. Without you, then it's pointless for me to be sitting down there trying to have a talk with you. Russ, I think we've got you back on the line. Good afternoon to you.
Blessing my brother Chief.
My beautiful brother in Jamaica, the same to you and a very good morning to you. Thank you very much for taking time out to give us a call here in Galaxy, London.
My beloved brother, we're not taking time out. This is our life work.
We give thanks.
When the Africans abroad and at home realize, just as the Chinese have their own continent, the Indians up in their own continent, every indigenous nation upon planet Earth are now looking at their own people and developing for their interests. Yet we have the greatest nation. We are still pondering, we are still thinking what we should be doing. It's very simple. Unless we are physically inserted ourselves in a respective region, Africa will continue to sell out. Unless the Caribbean people, the Jamaican, the St. Lucian, the Grenadian, insert yourself in the Caribbean, the Chinaman and everyone else is going to take over our region. So what is it we must do? We must take control of our own country. We must go to the respective embassies of the Africans, just as how we've been marching on Westminster. Let us march on the Africans and let them know exactly where he stands in totally denouncing anything where European is still master of the continent, master of the Caribbean. So you see, my chief, what is wrong with the black race? What is wrong with us? How much more should we suffer? How much more should we keep on trying to find justice where there's none? How long should it be that we continue mentally enslaving and trying to use European education, European so-called philosophies which they didn't have none, to trying to solve our problem? Democracy creates demons because it has never worked. The model of democracy, there's no such thing. It looks good, just as the devil tried to fool us. It looks good, but the reality of it, it is evil, because what it does, it divides the nation, it separates the nation. When one party is in, the other one is opposition. They're there to try to make you fail, and although they're supposed to be representing the interests of the people. So my beloved brother, you know, I keep on hearing the suffering of the Africans. I keep on hearing us going to Prime Minister of England, Queen of England, going to United Nations, and still we haven't got nothing. Don't you think it is time for us to possess our land? Do you think the Chinese are the one can stop us from possessing what belongs to us? But if we keep on just there on the borderline and we're not taking physical action, it is so simple. And I don't want to sound emotional or passionate. No, it is so simple to do. Stand up and be counted as a black man and a black woman, please. And as I said the last time, Chief, until we decide, those who want to go, they go into the room that says go, because what's been happening, we've been having so much discussion, and it's confusing with those who wants to stay. And we're having issue and discussion, and we've never come to a resolution. So what I say to you, please, enough is enough. Those who want to remain in England, France, and Germany, and all European countries, please go into the room that says, I want to stay. And those who really wants to go, and believe you me, my chief, we're not begging you, we're not trying to convince you. If you yourself don't know yourself, and the 21st century, then you're the ones that we don't need. But you see, all the few that I have seen doing positive things, both in the continent, those are the ones that we need. It only needs a few to change a view. It doesn't need a multitude, because if you keep on waiting for a multitude, it will never happen, my beloved chief. Let us have a discussion on the black radio station. Let all the hosts, let us have a discussion on who wants to stay, and let us be separate. And let us have discussion reason of who wants to go. And let us keep them separate. Because at the moment, we are not even to unite ourselves, because we still don't know what we want. Well, we the few knows what we want. And we the few is doing exactly by doing what is needed, by taking physical responsibility, my chief. You know, all this talk and talk and talk without action. You know, if you're still waiting for somebody to save you, well, the Savior told us, unless you make the first action yourself, then he's not going to be interested, because you can't be bothered, so why should he?
My beloved brother Oshing, you know, when we talk about action, there are a lot of us who are not prepared to go on the battlefield. They're not prepared. They would like to see others go in front of them to fight the battles, and then they reap the benefit. But so, you know, who no one come can stay. But at the same time, it's only a few who are prepared to go on the front of the battle, to stand up. You see, I don't know if you're listening to when I played the clip of one of the white reporter who asked Theresa May, and I think that was a clever journalism that was posed in front of around the world, where they asked Theresa May, in your government at the time of Mandela, what did you do? As it was your government, your prime minister who actually says Mandela was a terrorist. What did you do? Did you support the boycott at South Africa's food? And she couldn't answer the question. But at the same time, our leaders haven't seen or listened to the depth of the type of questioning and what took place at that time to where we are now. So even the leaders themselves, my beloved brother, are still being woodwinked, are not taking. You see, I think they're taking that pill that Europe have actually forced onto them, and so they've been docile in what's happening to Africa as we speak.
Well, my beloved chief, we who've got 600 years of enslavement, we are not docile.
No, we are not. We are seeing the light.
Africa needs. And it's only for we to do what needs to be done. Until when we have our government accountable and hold them accountable with your remittance that you send, both to the continent and particularly to the Caribbean. Until when you take physical action, you can bring a charge against your government. You can impeach them. You can impeach a member, a minister for being a failure. Yes, you can. Just as how you can bring a charge against me if the chief thinks that I have done something illegally. You can do that.
Yeah, but that's got to be done by the opposition. That's got to be done by the opposition, and with the support of the leading party to impeach an individual. But how are we going to impeach anyone when we haven't got any support?
Well, it's not about support.
We need that.
If you look at the law, if you as a citizen of democracy feel that your government is not doing, what you do, you take a charge. Just like if your neighbor did something to you, you make a charge against them as a criminal charge.
But you see, it depends on the constitution of the particular country, my beloved brother. And if the constitution doesn't endorse that, then there's nothing the leaders and the people of the country can do. Away from
You're wrong.
All right, okay, educate me and let me know, because if that's not written in the constitution, how is it going to be implemented?
Yeah, this is why we've got to discredit and abandon the how can we allow a constitution that wasn't written by the African, that totally disenfranchised the African from his rights, for his civil liberty, his resources, and they were saying, oh, it's in the constitution, so because it's here, we cannot do it.
There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. So you've answered your own question where it is where it is at the moment. So the people themselves, even though it wasn't written with their endorsement, it is still been in place and it's been used up to date. So how are they going to change it in the mid-air without the endorsement of the people? So to impeach somebody, it won't happen like that, my beloved.
Listen to me, man.
I am listening. I'm learning as I go along.
We are a race that have been enslaved.
Yes, we endorse that.
A piece of document called a constitution, which our enslaver wrote to make sure the enslavement continues. And we're here saying, because of this constitution, we cannot take action. Of course we can. Every law, as you know, has been broken and new precedent is set. Until when you challenge something, it will continue. That is why the law has so many precedents in law now.
I'll tell you something. We have got one line. I've got another call coming in from Jamaica. Let me take this, and if you want to come back, you can come back on this, please.
I'm going to have to come back because right now, the Africans are at a defining moment in the African history. We must know exactly what we want to do. We cannot continue in this confusion and blaming constitution. How can we blame a piece of paper? And it's not a liberty. It wasn't sent from the Almighty.
You know something?
Oh my God.
I'm coming and I'm there with you. I am walking down the same road with you. But we have to disagree to agree. In spite the fact, remember, the law of the land still goes by the law. We cannot disobey that law, otherwise you know that you're going to end up in prison. There are many of our freedom fighters disobey, and where do they end up? Behind bars. Let's leave it there. We can come forward. Give thanks. The Vibration and Galaxy, Brother Everton in Jamaica, thank you very much for taking the time to give us a call. I don't know if we still got you or I've lost you. Brother Ever?
No, you still have me. Greetings, Chief.
Give thanks, my beloved brother. Down there, so what is Jamaica like at this time? I didn't ask Ras Osim. What is it like down there at this time? Weather-wise.
The morning, weather-wise, it's gloomy. It's overcast, like a softbox overcast.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, but it's, obviously, that Jamaica is warm and beautiful scenery.
Well, all right. Don't rub it in. Don't rub it in. Not because my heart's. Don't rub it in.
You are.
Thank you.
Telling you.
All right, my beloved.
Yes. No. You're perfectly right. What you just said a while ago to the brother. You know what I mean? We need support. Without the support, then how is it going to manifest?
Aye.
So aye. I totally agree with what you said. Now listen, this is no time to be sleeping, right? The only one I see right now who's gonna negotiate a good deal for his country in Africa is Galaxyafiwe in Tanzania. It's not mincing his word, right? If you're going to negotiate something, it has to be for the betterment of your country. You understand? No, I always say, look, we have lived with the Caucasians. We've been to school with them. We know their tactics. Right? We are the ones supposed to be out there challenging these things. If we unite and come together, you understand? Because we can't do anything individually. It's a waste of time. But if we come together and say, right, we're going down there with our skill, with our money, and try to, get ourselves into certain positions, then we can have a voice. Because, some of our brothers down there are sleeping. They are sleeping. They only just see for today. A plate of food and we want to just done it after they are not thinking about tomorrow. But we who in the West have been to school with these Caucasians, we know their tactics. No, you see Teresa here going down there dancing, making a fool of herself. Yes, it's about business, and you're totally right, Chief. She's going down there with 29 other business people. This is for enrichment.
Of course.
So if our African government don't wake up and see what's happening, it's like slavery all over again.
You know, let me kind of drop something on you. As a chief in Sierra Leone, they have an annual meeting with chiefs, and I'm gonna say this because I haven't got no qualm, and I'm not afraid of saying it. They've got an annual meeting that takes place in this country every August. Chiefs come to this country, and when they come to this country, their chiefs and politicians will come to this country after the meeting, and they go back to their various parties. Nobody knows what this meeting is all about. I'm trying to inquire as much as I can to get information, and I've been locked out because I am being too intrusive and I'm too inquisitive. I'm now trying to find out why is it that this information is not relayed to me, and I have to have. I'll be speaking to a sister later on this evening in why this meeting is being called. Who endorsed this meeting? Who paid for this meeting? If this is a court meeting by the other side of people that we don't know nothing about. Because we know that the people that wear the big ring and wear stupid tie around their neck are involved in a lot of things that we do. And so maybe that part of it, maybe that's why I've been locked out. And I'm intrusive. But at the same time, my beloved brother, we can't sit back and let those who have got private meeting take away our sovereign right as taken away Africa out of our hand the way it has been taken away. We need to claim Africa back the way it used to be and what it's supposed to be today in modern days.
Exactly. No, you see what you just said a while ago, right? Because they say that you want to see what's happening as a chief in the West, and you want to go in there and be involved more. They try to to close that door on you because you want to find out ways. But this is not right, because you've already known about the tactics, what goes on in the West. So you're trying to, you're trying to incorporate to find out ways. But this is not a good deal, So they try to lock you out. So that is the problem I'm talking about. It comes back to what you just said a while ago, and it makes sense that we group up and have a voice in Africa. It's just simple. It's just simple mathematics. It's like anything else. It's like me as a photographer. You think, so well, look, I'm in business to make money, right? I'm not in business because yes, I have a passion for the work, but I want to make money too. You have to pay me for my skills. You understand? So when I'm negotiating a better deal for me and my company. It's applied to what you just said a while ago in Africa. We need to wake up. There's no time for sleeping because the Europeans are not sleeping. There's someone in America said Africa is shit too. But look at it now. They are going here because they need help.
Of course, he's got to go and double in the SHIT, and that's exactly what's happening. They all agree when it was said. No one said it was wrong by leaders, but now they're all doubling in the SHIT. My beloved Everton, thank you very much.
Bless up, man.
More strength. The Vibration Galaxy, as we take your call this afternoon, is the time for collective talking. It's time for collective investment in the Africans, for you, the African brothers and sisters, to actually have your say and speak to the African leaders. Ask the question that I would ask. Ask the question, and I've got a few days holiday left. And I put aside, I was saying to Dr. Abu, my holiday is so short. I was speaking, one of my beloved sisters rang me last night and said, Chief, there's a spot for you to make a link with us to go to Zimbabwe. And I said, oh my goodness, I lay there and I had goose pimples all over my body because I just can't take the valuable time that I need to go to these places because I am in the know and I want to know these things. And I said to Dr. Abu the other day, I said, Dr. Abu, I've only got a few more days left out of my holiday, and the only days that I've got left, I need to take them to go to the embassy. I have to use those 2 days out of my holiday go to everything. So I want to know that I play that role that's supposed to play for the voice of those who are voiceless. Good afternoon to you, my beloved sister. Sorry to have kept you. You're on Galaxy.
That's fine, my brother. Chief, good afternoon, and good afternoon to Galaxy family. My main concern is listening to what's been
fact that when the British decided to join the Commonwealth, they just totally threw the Caribbean and African countries to the dog. They didn't give one iota how they were going to cope, how they were going to manage. They were just dropped. And I was hoping that the African countries, now that Britain is coming out of the common market, out of the EU, I was hoping that they would group together and make sure they benefit from Britain wanting to come back into Africa. But it seems they don't, it's like they're so much asleep. They don't see what's happening.
Well, that's the question I asked earlier, my sister Anita. I said, how can Africa capitalize on Britain exiting the EU? I asked the question, how can Africa capitalize on this? And before Africa capitalize on it, Europe is now sending in their representative to go and shore up to make sure Africa doesn't reverse and capitalize. And that's what they're now doing. It's a reverse psychology.
They're supposed to get themselves together as African nation and group together and make sure they come off the winner. They are supposed to gain from Britain, and these European countries want to come back in. Because that's the only reason Britain, that Theresa May went into Africa, is to go and shore up with the pretension they're going to give them what, 40 billion?
Yes, that's what she claimed.
How much is that going to split between all the countries? They're not going to get anything out of it. Britain is going to come out of it the winner, because they're going to show up and they're going to come up with 10 times more than what they're giving. The African government need to wake up, and they should not have signed any agreement until they read and double read and read all the fine lines. Because that is why you see Theresa May there. They're sending their advanced spy party out to go and soften up these governments. A lot of these African government is so weak and so afraid to stand up to these white people. They just bow and scrape rather than put their foot down and said, you dropped us once before. You didn't care about us. Now you're coming out of the EU market. You're coming back in. But this time, we're going to double or treble whatever you're coming back in. You have to pay for it 3 or 4 times higher.
Someone said Theresa May is a member of Jesuit. And they all are member, including Kenyatta, who have just give May the all up as Kenyatta is just coming back from America, and so he'll be headed back into China with the meeting coming up. So they're all in a little clique. And they support, and that's why Africa cannot be better, my sister, because they're in a clique where Africa has been held down with the corruption that's supported by the West.
Yes, because the leaders there, they're all selling their people out.
And exactly.
They seem to be strong enough to put their foot down and demand that their government make sure they get the better deal. And on top of it, may I just ask, there's many of us, because I would love to go and settle in Africa. Those of us who've been, taken out of Africa and was born in that's that. And I am so sick and tired of hearing talk about how we have to, sort ourselves out. Yeah, it's true. We do need to get rid of the European brainwashing. And I've been well and truly prepared a long time ago. But not everyone is ready. But those of us who are ready to go home, can we not impeach the British government that we were taken out, our ancestors were taken out, and we are still being held as slaves, and demand to be paid so we can go win whichever.
Well, that's why we're talking about reparation. That's where the reparation argument is. You see, we are a nation of displaced people. And so we are, someone sent a text and said we are conquered people. We have not been conquered. We allow ourselves to be taken. We allow ourselves to be conquered by those who we think have got the upper hand of us. And that's where we are right now. We allow this to happen to us. We have not been conquered.
But those of us who want to go home, if we demand compensation to go home in a large quantity amount of money, that would help us resettle. If we do this in 1,000 and demand to go back to whichever country we chose to go back to, the British government, by right, should have to let us go back and they have to pay us to go.
Sister Anita, have you forgotten that Mrs. Thatcher was the one who implemented that, and she said, if you want to leave this country and go back to a country, Britain will give you, at that time, Britain will give you between 10 and 15,000 pounds. I'm sure Brother Kwame can, that was been remembered.
This country, we need more than that.
But there you go. But she said, and if you take that money, you could never come back to Britain, and that's what she was offering at the time. But how much do you think Britain will give any one of us who want to go? Look and see those people who have problems from the Windrush generation. Today, we heard over the news 2 days ago that Jamaica have done said 2 or 3 people who were actually prepared to come back to Britain have just passed on because of exhaustion, of the pressure that it took for them to come back to Britain. And Jamaica have now announced that three of those people have now passed away. Britain won't pay the money that they're supposed to pay you, my sister. In spite of the fact that you asked for it, you won't get it.
But my brother, we should demand it. We should impeach the British government, because those in the Caribbean, throughout the whole of the Caribbean, and those of us in Britain who want to go home, we should all get that money from Britain.
But how can you impeach a government? How can we impeach a government when you're demanding something and we haven't got a representation? We as a nation of people, we can't, because
they took my sister out as slaves.
But because
wandering the flipping world, not having a base.
This is what Rush Osing,
where I was taken from.
This is what Rush Osing is saying. But we cannot impeach a government when you haven't got. Remember, politically, we are supported, run by the House of Government and Parliament and all of this that tie us up. So we cannot ask for impeachment, my beloved sister, in spite of the fact you want to demand something. We are demanding our reparation, and you see the struggle that we're having. How many of us decide to go onto the march, to go on march and show our presence? None of us, not a lot of us, want to do it.
Many people like me, my position, who want to go home, and we are stuck. We are stuck in Europe and in the Caribbean, and we want to go home. My country paid them for the independence, and they still didn't get any independence.
But we're not independent.
And I want to go home. I am sick and tired. I've never worked and paid tax for my country, which I was born and brought up in Jamaica. The only place I paid tax is in Britain. And I want to go home to my land that my ancestors come from. Not back in Britain here. I don't want to stay here. I want to go home. And there's many people like me who want to go home.
There's a text here. Chief, there's a researcher by the name of Diane Galloway. Calloway? Research on the Freedom of Information Act. Check him out. I'll check that out. Thank you very much for the information. Sister, it is where we are now. And you want to go home. I want to go. But you know what? It's the government will tell you plain that you want to go. But they ain't going to give you nothing. So the only what we're going to have is for us to continue to fight for our reparation, demand it, and make sure that we sign the petition that going around so we can show our presence and show our disgust to where we are right now. Sis, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much.
Time we're here fighting for this reparation, more and more of us is getting older and older and dying younger, and we'll never be able to go to our motherland.
True. Some of us will go before we even reach there. Thank you kindly.
Okay, my brother, I'm telling you, this is so sick.
It's painful. It is painful, sis. It is painful. But we got to leave it there. Thank you very much.
Right.
Give thanks. Russ Osing, I thought you weren't going to come back, but you're back on the line. You see, I know that I would catch you to get back to us.
You see, my chief, I've been hearing some very interesting discussion.
Mm-hmm.
We all know, my chief, that remember this, if we continue to allow Constitution dictate to us a piece of paper and put us in fear, remember, until when we ourselves take back an action, until when we ourselves hold our government accountable, not the Westminster government, our respective government. All
right, okay. Stick a pin. You're my brother and I love you to the maximum. And every time and anytime I'll see you, I'll shake your hand and you and I will walk down the road as brothers and support each other. But let me throw something at you. Jamaica was asking to become a republic. Because of the constitution that's set within the country can't do that unless it's been endorsed by the British Queen. How can the people of the country change the constitution and go into republic without that governmental changes? How can it be done? The people can't do that, can they?
if we are going to allow the laws of Europeans to maintain the enslavement of our people, then I don't blame them. If we ourselves doesn't realize that the laws that was made by Europeans, I'm hearing about this New Deal. Europe has never left Africa for the last 2,100 years.
Yes, but you haven't answered the question yet. Before we go back into Europe, answer the question whereby you're in Jamaica, the country, they are part of the country who are saying we want our freedom, we want our sovereignty, we want to go republic. That cannot be changed in spite the people want it unless it's been endorsed by the constitution written through the European system that you're talking about. Even if the people rise up, it won't happen. Go on.
We are going to allow the Europeans, because of constitutional, that continue to enslave the Caribbean and Africa.
But they've been doing it, my beloved brother. They have been doing it. They have been doing it. And that's how the country is now been run, with the endorsement of the enslavers. That's how the country has been run.
Right, this is what I'm saying to you, my beloved chief. Unless we, remember, any action that you take against this so-called New World Order, you'll be deemed to be a terrorist. The only action that you can take against a democratically elected government process is to take them to court. And we can, all we need, my chief, is some of our black lawyers to recognize what it's all about and to take a legal charge against the respective government. We can do that. Do not tell me that we cannot, because of constitution of a
all right.
that continue.
Okay.
And ignore.
Okay. I am not going to tell you, that it can't happen, but let it happen. Let me see the uprising of the people in Jamaica. Make that rising and change it by the people power, and then I'll say to you, Ras Osing, you are right. You can't say to me, I cannot tell you that, because unless it happen, my beloved brother, the Privy Council in Jamaica does not run Jamaica. It's been supported by the British sovereignty, the Queen. So how the hell is this going to happen?
My friend.
Yes, sir.
I will not be going to the Privy Council. We in the Caribbean, we have just set up now the Caribbean Court of Justice, which has all members of African and indigenous so-called Indians in the Caribbean that suffer the atrocities of European Confederate states. So my beloved, what we've been doing, we've been trying to use European solution, European technique for African problems. What we need to do is to now abandon.
All right. Okay. Let's go into this. Good. I like that. But let me ask you now. Will you have any form of endorsement by any form of barrister or judge to actually have some endorsement in representation? Will you have any one of those to speak for you? A judge or a barrister or a solicitor? Will any one of them be there?
We've already spoken to some of our lawyers in England.
Yes.
Led by Mr. Giselle Gordon. And we've got lawyers down here in Jamaica, right, that is now representing the Ethiopian World Federation. And as I say to you...
Hang on. Those lawyers that you've got, you see, this is what I'm trying to say to you, my beloved. They are still under the jurisdiction of the Queen, my beloved brother. And there's only so much they can do and they can say. They cannot rise above. So you're still under the cush of those who you said that govern you. Those lawyers that you've got, they're still... Yes, sir. Yes, I'm listening. Yes, sir.
The reason why we call on the lawyers, law is law, and we need experts. Now, what will it say, my chief? For 600 years, we've been enslaved.
I support that. Yes.
And you're telling me that we, in ourselves, because it's on this paper, we are in here to challenge it?
I didn't say that. I did not say that it cannot be challenged. And that's why we are trying to find the right direction to make that challenge. And if you don't have the right direction, they would show that out, my beloved. I was in Barbados. I was in Barbados when one of them, the brother, a solicitor from Jamaica, Russ, can't remember his name. He was in Parliament sometime. I don't know if he's still... Miguel Long. We was in Barbados with him. Right. And Miguel having a fight with the judicial system to actually bring forward the reparation system, the fight that Jamaica is having. Miguel is giving up, and he is a great...
The reason for that, my beloved brother, is because we keep on going to the evil that's in slavery to seek justice from evil. You will never get justice from evil. What's supposed to happen, my beloved brother, as I said? Right now in the Caribbean, we have our own court of justice. So why are we going to the devil's court of justice will never give us justice? So what we're supposed to do is come together as Africans and let us now put that reality in realities, and we can do it.
Do we involve with African leaders as people from the Carriers Beyond community? Do we involve African brothers and sisters to get involved into this?
Yes, because remember, my brother, it was the Africans that had been suffering, no matter what color we were, and what region, and what part of Africa, we all suffered the same atrocity.
You have set up.
It is calling on Africa.
You have set up a petition, a great petition where members of the community. Have you sent that petition to any of the leaders in Africa so far?
Well, I remember the petition that was set up by the diaspora is particularly for Jamaica, Gambia, and those, because what we want, we have over 5 million, it is estimated, Jamaicans abroad. And what we're saying, until when you take physical action and hold this government accountable by sending them concerning the petition to protect our industry for the majority of our people, both at home and abroad, that petition is particularly designed for Jamaica and Jamaican and the Caribbean, because that's the region that we're in. And as you know, I'm very, very grateful for the ones who have signed. But we've got over 5 million estimated Jamaicans in the diaspora. And we need 15,000 signatures, and we've only got 1,260. And that is now going almost 8 months. That is the kind of action which is not existing. We are great at having great events for discussion, but when it comes up to the follow-up action, we don't seem to know the action and courses to take.
What is the name of the organized body that you say you've got in Jamaica that has been formed? What is the name of the organization?
The name of the organization, as you know, my chief, I represent the Ethiopian World Federation Charter Parliamentary.
Yes.
That deals with the land grant as Shashamani officially. And as you know, just like every organization that came out of the African in the West, we've had our own people who have come and completely ruined them. So the Ethiopian World Federation is without exception, where we've had people in America, in England, using the Federation for their own purposes, their own enrichment, and they do not send nothing to the cause that it was originally set up for. We've had this in every area of the black development, where what's supposed to happen for the people, we've had some Will Lynch amongst us that only takes the money, enrich themselves. They will use the king, they will use Marcos, but they've never set up a trust fund in the name of Marcos for development. They've never set up a trust fund in the name of the king for African action, but they keep on using Marcos and the king to make money. And we know them because everywhere you go, you see there's a group of, we call them the Williams niggers, the Eurocentrically educated that maintain a Eurocentric position, but they tell you that they're African liberators. And they're not. They're just African opportunists, because they use the ancients and the elders to make money for themselves. Well, that was the case of the Ethiopian Federation, and that is why we had to bring the lawyers in. And right now, all the locals in New York and London are going to be shut down, because none of you has an accountability of all the money that you've been taking. None of you. So what we've done, my chief, to set an example, I, as an Ethiopian, as you know, I am an Ethiopian. I'm baptized as one. So therefore, we've taken initiative of bringing in some of the best lawyers, because that is the position we are today. We've got some of the best lawyers and scientific mind that we brought together, my chief.
Some of the best my brother, some of the best lawyers that some of the best lawyers that still enslaved under the Constitution of the Queen, my beloved brother.
My chief,
yes.
The case then, all of us is enslaved. We got lawyers who study law.
Yes.
Able to present a case.
And that is a problem because so we are still using their system. We are because let me say this. Well, hang on. I am listening. Both of us can listen. But let me say this to you first. I was in Sierra Leone last year, and I had an incident where someone stole a laptop and stole 2 mobile phones. They eventually caught the person, and we went to court with the person. And when I went into court, and the judge pointed to me, he had a little book in his hand. He said, "This is the judicial system that I'm working under, supported by the British sovereignty." And he held it up in his hand. He's practicing. He said, and I asked him the question. I said, "Your Honor, have you ever been to the UK?" He said, "No, I have never been there. But I am using what has been set in front of me to try this case." Now listen to what he said. In spite of the fact that he hasn't traveled to the UK, he still have something that represent the colonial master. So when you use those lawyers, my beloved brother, you're still using the method of the colonial system that's put in place. What say you?
My beloved chief, remember, the European has never come up with no intellectual law. We were the lawmakers from the house of Judea. So when we speak of law and precedent, if we really want to get real, we can go way back and bring a precedent of our original laws.
Then we do that.
But because our lawyers have been so Eurocentrically and they toe the line, as you know, they all have to sign the bottom line.
Exactly.
We do have lawyers amongst us who is not in that framework, my beloved chief. They are Africans who have been educated under the Queen Council because it is the law of the so-called Europeans that seem to run the world all over.
But that's what you say, under the Queen Council, under the Queen Council. So you see, you still can't get, that's what I was saying, you still cannot get away. In spite of the fact you cannot get away from what has been placed.
My brother, listen to me, listen.
I am listening.
Try to understand. You, my chief, you've gotten away from Babylon because your mindset, Marcus wasn't that set, Malcolm wasn't that set. So, when you say get away, it's all about your mindset. If you keep on thinking that because of a white man constitution, we can't do anything, then nothing will have happened.
Listen. It's not what I think. It's not what I think. It's what I act out. It's what I listen. I went to Ghana and they had to throw me out of a court because I go against the rule of the court. They throw me out because I stood up to them. And you know what the people in Ghana said? If you were a Ghanaian, they would have locked you up. But because you knew what you were talking about, the judge at the time, he got up and he walked away. The clerk of the court looked at me and called me and I said, and they break the court, and I said, listen, you don't even know your own law. I said the judge should have actually put the court on recess to walk away. What have you? And listen to me, brother. I do not say what I don't do. I'm telling you that I resist the system. And I let judge in this country get up and I let judge. Russell Singh, listen to me. I let judge in this country get up and walk away out of his chair and said, I will not try this man. I does that. Okay? So it's not something, it's not all of us. Pardon?
So what you did, Chief, you stand up as a black man for the black man rights, which is universally given to the black man by the Almighty. But if we keep on saying that we cannot move because of the British, the French, the German constitution that enslave us, no, my brother, what we must first do is to tell that constitution we burn it and we discredit and abandon it. That's what now needs to be done.
I hear you.
We're not supposed to be arguing with a system that definitely say we're slaves forever. What we have to do is stand up and take back the action.
What we are doing, Rasoshin, we are ironing out the creases, and we're making it plain, because that question, the underlying question that have to be asked, in whether it might be brutal, but we need to ask this question to make sure that one on one we are on the same line. And that's the reason why I'm putting the pressure in, why it's like an interviewing you right now while we speak, because we have to put these things openly.
That's why I could call you back to speak, because I know how the chief works. You put something into the fire, and we all have to react to it, because we were all put into the fire, my chief.
I know.
So when I'm hearing that we can't stop the British government because of a constitution, my beloved brother, just like you, and I've got two elders here who went through trials and tribulation for the philosophy and teaching of Rastafari, right here beside me, listening, and they say no. What we must do is stand up for our rights by taking back our rights.
Yes.
You cannot discuss or negotiate black man rights from the enslaver who enslave us. So what we do, we literally tell them, we stick up two things at them and tell them that. Because how can we continue in the 21st century on a constitution that says we don't own ourselves, we don't own the resources? That is madness. And you mean to tell me that we of ourselves doesn't have the intelligence to say, no, no more, enough is enough? No, my chief. If that was the case, then, my chief, it might as well I commit mass suicide and kill off my children. Because what you're saying, my son don't have a future because of this white paper from the British that tells me I'm still enslaved to him. What you're saying to me, because the law is under the Queen Council, I don't have no law because his lawyer is my chief. What has to happen? The black man must regain his composure. The black man must regain his spirituality. The black man must regain his intelligence, because this is so easy. All we have to do is tell the British, we don't, your Soviet constitution, we don't want it. And if our people, and if the diaspora was to take that action, instead of trying to be accepted in British society, maybe the majority of Africans, the majority of the Caribbean people will realize, because why? The diaspora have more experience.
Russ,
has more knowledge.
let's leave it there. Point has been made loud and clear. Thank you very much for coming back.
I have to come back, because until when we take back what they took, and without further discussion with them, my beloved brother, might as well we commit mass suicide and kill off our sons, daughters, and granddaughters, because they had no future then.
Give thanks. This no continue, because I think I've just got a text message where someone said, "Let the Ras speak a little bit more." I can hear someone in the background. What is that person saying in the background?
I've got some elders here.
Okay, let me hear the elder that you have got.
60, 70 years in the Rastafari movement, who are pictured by the JLP and pictured by the PLP. And you telling me, say, me can't take those two to court and make a charge against them? Yes, I can. All it needs is a lawyer to come together and put the case against what we are going to charge them for. It is so simple. And instead of going to the Privy Council, which will never give you justice, let us start with our own court, which is the Caribbean Court of Justice, my brother. And when we speak of African reality, let us start dealing with the African Union, because this is the central reality of African unity.
But the African Union is there neutrally. It's not even working for Africa, my beloved brother. So I think we're going down taking on a losing track, and a train that's going to derail. The African Union is not there for the African people from where I sit right now.
My beloved chief.
Yes, sir.
If you know what is the African Union all about, from the Organization of African Unity, I keep on telling everyone, Africa always has a continental development program. But what was missing is the diaspora who keep on thinking they were an African and were not happy to be in England, to be in European country than returning to their own land. They took a risk and went to England just with a grip and a suitcase. They didn't even know where they were going. But the place that their ancestors is from, they were willing to return. So we keep on criticizing as a diaspora when we know better. So what it means, my beloved brothers and sisters, you that is in the diaspora, it is you that must take action.
Okay. Okay, let me endorse something that you have just said. We have just got a text message from someone said, yes, Chief, the Ras is on point. We can beat them using their laws and international law. I don't know, but if so be the case, there are listeners who support that link that you have just making. So if we're gonna use international law, I don't know much about international law, and I don't know how it will implement, how it will take all. I don't know nothing about international law, because as far as I'm concerned, all of these lawyers, especially crown lawyers, they're under one umbrella.
Yes, because it was the British Empire that enslaved everywhere. So we would expect that, Chief. But what we're saying, any other action will be seen as terrorism. So the only way we can do what needs to be done with no further blood spilling of so many millions Africans that have suffered for 600 years under European Confederate state and their constitution. All we can do, my plea, is to bring a legal court action. And we have enough black lawyers who is capable of putting together a court action file. And that's what we need. But instead of going to the Privy Council, we will bring it to the Caribbean Court of Justice. And we will send a copy to the Privy Council, because we have been privileged and we still haven't got nothing for over 500 years. So we know the Privy Council is a waste of time. Marching on Westminster in England is a waste of time. What you need to do is to march on the Jamaican embassy, march on the South African embassy, march on the South African embassy, march on the Ghanaian embassy, because these are the ones who are still traitoring us to the British and Europeans.
Someone have just sent a text message and said the Chinese built the AU building. Do you know about that?
As you know, it doesn't matter, because the Chinese, if you read the Bible, I know many of us keep on thinking that the Bible was written by this and that, but as an Ethiopian, Christianity came from Ethiopia. Everybody should know that. So when we read the Bible, it tells you of the beast and the dragon. And it tells you that the dragon was going to come across the Euphrates River. Exactly. So what is happening with the dragon in China? We are very familiar. But we also know that the dragon has his ulterior motives, that the dragon needs our resources, just like the beast. So there's no difference between the beast and the dragon and the Chinaman. The only thing is, it was the dragon that empowered the Europeans. It was the dragon, the Chinaman, that empowered the Arabians, the Syrians, that brought the Arabs into Africa and started to sell black man and bring them across the Sahara Desert. So across the Sahara Desert, we have millions of black people, just as we have millions of black people at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. And as I said to my priest, the spirituality of the African, we don't seem to remember our spirituality. Well, on the 24th of October, we are asking all Africans to light a candle. We don't want you to march, no. We just want you to light a candle in remembrance of the millions and millions of atrocities that has been committed and continue to be committed against the Africans, the people of color, and the amount of millions of unmarked graves that are there of our ancestors. So I'm asking, let us first deal with our spirituality, because everything else that I'm hearing, our spirituality can deal with it. So I'm asking you, my priest, my chief, and the rest of the Galaxy family, I want you to join us on the 24th of August, when the Baptist minister, Paul Bogle, prayed all night with his people, the African people.
On the 24th of October, not August.
Yeah, October, my beloved, right? So I'm asking all Africans, so whether you're Jamaican, St. Lucian, whether you're from Nigeria, we all suffer the same atrocities, and the ancestors are still weeping and wailing because the death that was so wicked that was meted out to them. So we're asking, please light a candle in remembrance of our great ancestors, the millions and millions and millions that were butchered by the British. For example, what they did to the Aborigines in 1920. Can you imagine what they did to us in the darker years when there was no television and there was no broadcasting news? So we're asking, let us first connect to ancestors and let us remember the sins that were committed by the Europeans, the Portuguese, the Spanish, all of them, the French and the Germans. And let us remember first our ancestors on the 24th. Just before midnight, wherever you are in the planet Earth, make sure that just before 12, you light a candle in remembrance of the millions.
Okay.
Continuing
Okay.
that has been continued against Africans.
Okay, Ras. Give thanks, Russell Singh. Thank you very much. That's Russell Singh down there in Jamaica way. Boy, I tell you something. The vibration continue here on Galaxy as we take your call. Give us a call inside the studio. 0207-193-0174. 0207-193-0174. Let's hear your voice on the radio as we are looking at, and something that and as time is running and passing by, I says to our beloved brother Kwame as I came in my opening that I will look as well and Julius Malema and ask a question. Last Friday I actually play a clip from Julius Malema, and he was calling for the truths and rights of Africans on the continent and those children who have been suffering. And I was supporting him, and someone texted and said he's a sellout. Julius Malema, we shouldn't be supporting him. And Brother Kwame decided to do some research, and this Friday Brother Kwame rang I and said, Chief, I was even with you when the caller said Malema, he was a sellout, wasn't for African, and I have done my research, and from what I found out that Julius Malema is not for African people, and I'm very surprised, honestly surprised. So when Brother Kwame said I've done my research, and the brother is not honest at all. And if you as an African have more information on Julius Malema, then give me a call. I don't take withheld number on a Sunday afternoon, and I won't be taking the withheld number. So calling me on a withheld number, I won't be taking your call. I'm getting call from Jamaica and I'm taking it and it's not withheld, and I'm taking call from other part of the world, it's not withheld. If you call me and withheld, I am not going to take any withheld call here in Galaxy on my program. And that is the precedent that I'm setting, and I do hope you adhere to the call, the fact that I'm setting this one by not taking your call if you call me on the withheld number. This is Theresa May trying to dance. Right, did you get that? Theresa May trying to dance there for those who haven't actually listened to the song that Theresa May was actually dancing to.
If that comes back to the House of Commons as the basis of the deal, you vote for it or against it?
Well, I want to leave that there. I want to leave that there because this will have to come up on another time. This will have to come up another time. I was going to talk about something else, but I want to leave that there because what I'm trying to see if I can find a clip of Julius Malema and see if I can get you to listen to Julius Malema and tell me if Julius Malema is actually a sellout for the African community. I've got a clip here. And I'm trying to see if I can link it up for you to see. Let you decide for yourself if Julius Malema is a sellout. I'm trying to bring the clip up.
Let's deal with it as crime. When it is a white person in South Africa, undocumented, it as crime. When it is a white person in South Africa, undocumented, he's called an investor. Not only a white person, including Indians and Chinese. These Guptas didn't have proper papers here. These Guptas didn't have proper papers. No one dared called them Kwerekweres. No one. But if it was my African brothers, we're going to be called Kwerekweres because they don't have papers. Self-hate. It must come to an end. If it means making the EFF lose votes for that, let it lose votes. Lose votes on principle. Not on political expediency of wanting to appeal. This country belongs to Africans in the same way Nigeria belongs to South Africans. Nigeria is South Africa, South Africa is Nigeria. We are Zimbabweans. We need to do away with this nonsensical idea that was imposed on us by colonizers, by Theresa May ancestors, that we must dislike each other. We must do away with that. Theresa May is coming here to make sure that we continue to hate each other. Look at what we are doing now. We are reclaiming our land in South Africa, saying our people must get the land inspired by our brothers in Zimbabwe. Namibia is following. Let the whole of African continent follow and reclaim our land. That's how we are going to gain our independence. And through the ownership of the continental land, we shall then have a true one South Africa. We are unable to unite because we are divided along colonial lines, Francophones and Anglophones. We need to do away with that. We need to love our African brothers in America when they are being slaughtered, in London when they are being slaughtered. They need to know that we love them here in South Africa. They remain our brothers. Love each other everywhere else where you find one another. Protect each other, Africans, because we are in the receiving end.
I've seen many clips of this man, Julius Malema, in a conference with European. He's the only one that sit around table with at least 3-4 European, and so I want to ask the question, as it's been said, that Julius Malema is no good for the African community. So I'm asking, is Julius Malema a plant in the African community? Is he an agent? Is he an agent whereby I can't take a call because I've opened the microphone? So I can't take a call while I've opened the microphone. I can't take a call while the microphone is open. I just can't do that unless you're going to go live. I can't do that. So I can't speak to you while with one phone in my ears and I'm speaking to you on the microphone at the same time. So I'm sorry. If you want to say something, then you have to ring the live link, which is 0207-193-0174. I'm asking, is Julius Malema? The clip I've just played for you a while ago, does this person sound as if he is a plant in the African community? I want to get your voice, I want to get your opinion on Julius Malema. As many people have said, this brother is a plant. The clip that I've played doesn't sound as if he's a plant, but from information that was given to I, and I look and see many of YouTube clip with Julius Malema in the art of European sitting down, taking picture with European. This is a question I would like to ask you. But there was a text message came through where someone said, Chief, you're not asking Ras Osing the right question. No, you did not pose a question for me to ask Ras Osing, but you comment that I didn't ask Ras Osing the right question. What other question did you want? I wasn't really interviewing him. He was actually putting his point of view over, just like many other callers. And if I'm not asking him the right question, then you could, the same way you send the question by saying, the comment by saying, I am not asking him the right question, you could have said, why don't you ask him this? If it's a burning issue that you want to ask, Well, you can't ask him. Make a call. Give us a call. See, sometimes the text message is too easy. And it's too easy for some of you out there. As we're talking about freedom fighters. If you're one of those freedom fighters, listen. I ain't dodging the bullet. The bullet. Some of us got to take the bullet. Some of us got to die on the battlefield. Some of us got to be a martyr out there. We can't just let others go and do all the fighting while we reap the benefit of that you gain from the fighting. No, I am going to be out there, and I'm out there. So if you're going to support me, give me the ammunition, give me the questions so I can ask the brother. Don't criticize and say I'm not asking him the right question, because I don't know what question you want me to ask him. I can't read your mind. So there you go. As I said, I wasn't interviewing him. We was reasoning among ourselves, and this was my opinion. Question come from my mind to where I see it, going to what he was saying. It's here in Galaxy, and we take your call 0207-193-0174, and we want to hear from you if Julius Malema, if he is a plant in the black community. And we can go back to the Theresa May and to ask you where we are right now, because Theresa May today is now what she's now saying, her visit in Africa was a success, and she's putting up her hand that it was a success, taking 29 business people into Africa to come and shore up businesses for the UK. So they'll be continuous. These business people, let me say this to you. Africa are in dire need of certain amount of support. And I listen to many people. I listen to brothers who said, I want to go to Africa to go and work. I want to go to Africa to go and teach. And when the opportunity comes, they fall along the wayside. Africa need a lot of trade people there. And if you want, someone says to me, they're looking for space to run a school. Who was it? Someone asked me for a space to run a school, I can't remember. And I said, I will try if I can find, there are quite a few black schools around, Saturday schools. Why don't you link with them and see what can be done? I was speaking to one of my brothers yesterday, and he wanted to do, when we came here, there was a YMCA, YWCA, all of that is gone. And he wanted to bring back, but the boyhood to manhood, that organization, and they're doing exactly like what the YWCA, the YMCA was doing. That is the same thing the boyhood to manhood is doing. And to actually give our boys the right direction in life. But there are many people who I've spoken to. I remember I see a sister, she said, I'm dying I said, don't die, go to Africa. I said, but you cannot say you want to go to Africa to go and teach. We don't go and do your own research. Go and do your research. Do your own feasibility study. Don't listen to what others say. Go into Africa for yourself. Feel it out. Then you'll be able to see what you want to do. If it can be done the way you want it to be done. How much money have you got? I haven't got the money. So when you want to go to Africa, you haven't got the money. You'll be going to Africa to do this free of charge. Fine. So who's going to put you up? You can't go to Africa with £10 in your pocket and then expect to run a school. It cannot be done. So many people speak with just because mouth is made to talk, and some of us can talk, and plenty of emptiness come out of your mouth. And I've heard plenty of empty barrel. They make the most noise. They shout as loud as they can, but at the bottom they're empty inside. Yesterday I was sitting down and gosh, as I'm speaking to you, I forgot that I make arrangement to link up. Oh my goodness, with Ras Shangobi. My brother, oh my goodness, Ras Shango, I'm so sorry. I just remember I was supposed to link with you, I'm sorry about that, I just coughed. I meant to link up with our brother Ras Shango yesterday, but I'll tell you what I was doing yesterday. I made an announcement. I'm coming to you, my beloved sister. I made an announcement a few strong ago that I was made a patron at a disabled organization run by, in association with Westminster in this country, organized disabled people, and they've got a branch in Sierra Leone, and I was made a patron. They said, we want you to be part of what's been happening. And I said, what do you want me to do? They said, whatever you can do to support disabled people here in Sierra Leone, because our people, disabled people, they haven't got a voice, and there's so much that want to be done. It's last year I was given 2 wheelchairs, and I sent the 2 wheelchairs, and ever since I sent the 2 wheelchairs to these people, they give me so much praises. And I made announcement a few strong ago, and I got a call from Sister Shanice, who called me and she said, Chief, I know a sister who've got so much thing. I know the sister called me, and I went to see the sister, and I was given 15 Zimmer frame. I've got about 24 walking stick, crutches, and other bits and pieces. Brother Kwame have given me another walking chair from it. And yesterday, I was actually pulling the Zimmer frame together, taking them apart so they can be easily packaged. And so I totally forgot that I was supposed to go meet with my brother. So my brother, I'm totally sorry. I was engaged, not in something that was bad, but in something that I'm sure you will approve of. But we can link and we can actually make that arrangement again. My sister, I'm sorry I had also say this. You're back on the radio. Good afternoon again.
Good afternoon, Chief. Is it possible, because I have not come across all the companies that Teresa brought with her into Africa?
They said 29 from what I've read.
Yeah, can you give us a rundown of the company?
I did not. I cannot give you. They didn't say. They did not say who these company were. That's from the information that I got. Was said 29. She was invited. A 29.
Some of them I've heard said was a whiskey company. It seems like they want to bring whiskey into Africa to get the people.
One of them was Scottish whiskey. One of them was obviously Scottish whiskey. I've sent some representative as well.
I hope we haven't all forgotten what they did with the Chinese with opium. Yeah, they made the people become totally relied upon opium.
African drink rum, you know. African drink rum. If you go to Africa and say, you know, they don't drink it as wild as it's been drank in this country, but African drink rum. And if you're having a celebration and rum is not there, there's certain chief who won't come there. Let me tell you that for sure. So they've been drinking rum and they've been drinking plenty of palm wine. So they get involved in certain illicit bits and pieces. And that's the honest truth.
However, I'd love to know the companies that she took with her, but I haven't got access.
You have to do that. You'll have to do that research. All I've got, that's 29. The name of these company. Maybe they have been actually mentioned somewhere, but from the research that I've had, I haven't seen the name of these companies at all.
Okay, my brother. If anyone have access to that house, they should let us know.
Well,
however, my brother, I'm leaving out here.
thank you very much, my beloved sister. And if anyone out there got that information to say the breakdown of these 29 companies that Teresa took with her, then you can give us a call and give us a breakdown. We know that Brother Paul was trying to get through. We got Brother Addy was trying to get through, and they couldn't get through. But at the same time, the line is now free for anyone to actually have their say in the trip to Africa, whereby Africa is now being sucked in again, as Britain is in only it's less than a year. Britain's got less than a year to go before they eventually, as Theresa May said yesterday, Brexit mean Brexit, and Britain won't have another election. So there won't be another referendum election because you know that there are some part of Britain who are now saying they want to they're campaigning because I think the Labour Party conference is coming up, and they're going to actually bombard the Labour leader so that another Brexit can be actually. It won't happen. It won't happen. So those of you who are saying you're only wasting your time and creating more problem as it stands right now. But Theresa May, her days are finished, and I think she's one of the weakest prime minister Britain has seen. But she's making sure that she set something in paper on the record. If she should actually walk away out of the prime ministership tomorrow, she has something to say. This is what I have done. I've walked into Africa, walk out of Europe, walk into Africa, and she will have name of the businesses that she pulled together to support British economy. And I'm saying to you, is this the right time for Africa? The question I'm asking you right now, as Theresa May have walked into Mama Africa, and I'm asking to you, how can Africa, because we need to capitalize, how can Africa capitalize on this Brexit that Britain is now on the journey of coming out of? It's a road that Britain can't divert from. They're coming out of it. How can Africa capitalize on it? As you can see for yourself, Africa is at the bottom. At the bottom, but yet they're at the top because they're the breadbasket of the world. And here is Europe and other countries are running into Africa to make sure they shore up their economy, while Africa's economy is actually running down to the bottom. You know, I was looking at something earlier. And I totally forgot it, and I'm going to bring it back. Where one of the most priceless jewel in the world, one of the most precious than diamond and gold is in South Africa. And you know what? Britain is after that. Britain is after that mining company. And I will come back. The white jewelry, which in Africa and it's in South Africa, Britain is after that. Let me take this call. Brother Paul, you're on the radio. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Chief. How is the Chief today?
Well, the sun is shining and I think I'm burning up. I'm on fire. I'm listening to you and many others.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, I would like to read this statement, and you can stop me when you wish, but it seems to fit in with what you're saying, yeah?
Let me hear you.
Britain's new African empire, the title is Britain's new African empire. Companies listed on the stock exchange control 1 trillion worth of Africa's resources in just 5 commodities: oil, gold, and diamonds.
What happened to platinum?
The god of the Europeans. Coal and platinum.
Yes.
I researched the NGO War on Want, which has been published, reveals that 101 companies, most of them British, control 305 billion worth of platinum, 276 billion worth of oil, and 216 billion worth of coal at current market prices. The scramble for Africa is proceeding apace, with the result that African governments have largely given away their treasures. Tanzania, gold, Zambia's copper, South Africa's platinum, coal, and Botswana's diamond are all dominated by London-listed companies. They have mines or mineral licenses in 37 African countries and control vast swathes of African land. Their concessions cover staggering 1.03 million kilometers on the continent. This is over 4 times the size of the United Kingdom and nearly 1/20 of sub-Saharan Africa's total land area. China's resource grabs have been widely vilified, but the major foreign takeover of Africa's natural riches springs closer to home. Call it London, right? And it goes on, but I won't go on because it's quite long. But listen, you know the reality is of this, yeah? You know, I wonder. I have another article about the military presence in Africa. In 137 countries, the US have their bases. These are armed soldiers from Army SEALs. It's not just army soldiers, it's the top brass, like Navy SEALs, commandos. Yeah? Now, the thing is, right, I know that commandos are trained to kill. Commandos ain't trained to build no bridges.
No.
Commandos ain't trained for logistic purposes.
True.
They're not trained to navigate satellites.
No.
Anything like that.
No.
Commandos' job is to kill people, right? That's what they're trained for. The Navy SEAL is a commando, and his job is just to annihilate anything that sees in front of him. Am I wrong?
You are right.
Right. Now, they've got all these top brasses in Africa, in every single country. I'm not telling you forever, I'm telling you within the last few years they brought them in. Now, why would you bring in trained killers? I'm not talking about logistic people, yeah? Or army soldiers who build bridges, or navigate satellites, or make peace corps, or whatever. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the killers you just brought in, right? There's only one reason you bring in commandos. If you're planning an attack. The job of a commando who works in 12 is to come and annihilate the opposition. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're a woman, child, or anything, it just annihilates it. That's how it's trained. Anything what stands in its way, it kills it. Okay? Now, you can read this if you think I'm lying. Now, I always wonder, Chief, I really do wonder. You see, it's okay, we say go to Africa, but I don't want to go to Africa and get my head blown off by anybody, right? And just get killed because I challenge anybody. Because I'm not that stupid.
Well, I mean, no, honestly, I said...
One thing...
Hang on, Brother Paul. And you see, your passion is one of such that I hear where you're coming from. And the first time I went to Ghana and I came back, I said to Dr. Abu, you won't be able to go into Ghana with the passion that you have got. Because you know what? You are too outspoken. And you would be the same. You are outspoken, but you know what? You would live in Africa because you would know how to ride the wave, just like Dr. Abu will know how to ride the wave. So here you are in Europe, and there are things that we can say that no one don't pay no mind. They might be paid mind, but at the same time you won't have the policeman knock on your door. Whereby in Africa, the moment you go out of line, then someone gonna knock on your door. I remember I went to a radio station in Ghana, and the producer was told, if that person come back on the radio, we're gonna close the station down, because I was outspoken at the time. So you got to be careful. Just like Brother Abraham, when he was there, his passport was taken away because of his outspokenness of the media system that they have got in Sierra Leone, my beloved brother.
So, Chief, the thing is, right, the thing is this, Chief, and I must say, in response to Ratko Shid, who I absolutely love what he's trying to do, absolutely hand in hand. But I must commend you. I think the questioning you asked today was absolutely outstanding. Absolute outstanding. In actual fact, I would go as far as to say you could be a lawyer and stand up in the court and ask those questions. Because the first thing is, right, and you're absolutely on point. And if you're speaking like that, Chief, I'm telling you something. You got a silver bullet there. Because what you got to recognize, when you talk about lawyers, right, you know, you just can't just talk about lawyers. I work, listen. I when I left school, I was involved. And that's all I knew. My whole work career is involved in that. And I saw with my eyes. I'm not telling you from the point of view from an outside and you just had some law experience. That was my whole business every single day, nearly 15 years, right? So I don't need no one to tell me what that's about, right? I know what that's about. And you are absolutely 1,000,000% right. Absolutely, you couldn't be more right. And it took me a long time to understand. When you're in something, Chief, when you commit yourself to something, everybody told you that that's the right way to go. Study this, do that, and you're in it, and you start to see things which nobody told you about, nobody explained to you, and you're looking at it thinking, do these people who told you to get involved in it know what's going on in it? You see the inside of the belly of the beast, and you can't question these things, man. And people talking, they don't know unless you've been in there, in it, and see what's going on. Listen, Chief, most of those people in there, let me tell you, 98% of them are Freemasons, right?
Yes.
Freemasons, okay? That's the first thing. Now, most of these governments in Africa are Freemasons too.
Yes.
Same bloody car.
Yes.
When you join them nonsense, yeah, they tell you got to serve them more than your own picnic them, more than your own wife. You got to write off your wife, write off your children, write them off. You serve them, right? And if you betray them, that's your family gone. They take your family first. Yeah, that's how they work. Right? And what they do, they set you up, make you do some homosexual act and record you, right? So that anyhow you run up your mouth, anyhow you feel like your mouth, they just push it all over the media. Gone, bro. Gone. That's how that system works. So when you run to that system, you better know what you're dealing with. You better know. Right? You better know. So it's not just straightforward to say, run to lawyer like that. All of those Freemasons, right? That's how they're running things. And them and the same governments, the people there who start the government, they're in the same lodges, they're in the same clubs, and they serve them clubs before they even serve their own pick to them, before they even serve their wife. They make you swear an oath that you would rather cut the throat of your wife and your children than betray them. That's the devil's work. You gotta wake up talking about lawyers, right? That's how these devils work. And if you don't know that, you're not ready for this thing, right? And that's the truth. So, Chief, I commend you on the cross-examination you give, because, you know, this ain't about begging friendship. This is about truth.
Exactly.
We're fighting a war. And if people don't like it, then can fight it. Respect.
In every aspect, more strength to you, my beloved brother. Thank you kindly. The vibration in the galaxy, as we take your call, that is Brother Paul, with that ever wonderful vibration of empathy. When it comes to power, we need that power, and we need to make sure that we know it. And, you know, don't feel it. You have it. Use it. You have it. Use it. And I've been saying it to a lot of my brothers and sisters, you know, all the time. Don't be afraid. You know, I'm not, as one might know, I'm not per se a public speaker. It's very, very rare I go out in the public and speak. But I'm quite comfortable around the microphone. And I'm not even a shy person, you know, but I'm a very observant person. I like to observe. And you know, when I see something, I like to take it in, calculate it, and bring it to the fore of overstanding within myself. Remember, the month that I was born, I'm a Libran, and I like to balance. I don't really sit in the fence, you know. I can be very aggressive at times, and I can be led. But at the same time, I will only go that far. I will go with you that far, then I'm going to stop and say, whoa, 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 whoa. How far are you taking me? Enough is enough, and I'm going to stop. That's where I'm at. So, you know, when I observe certain and see certain things, I'm going to point it out. You know, last year I was in Sierra Leone, and it was the art of the election. It was 2 or 3 strong after I leave Sierra Leone. Then election was going to be cast. Eventually it was put off for the next following strong, and blah 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 blah. And because ones and ones know of my outspokenness on the radio, you know, people come and says to me, Chief, I tell you something. We know what you're like. Don't go on the radio. Don't say anything. Last year was the first of all years since 2000 I'm going to Sierra Leone, going to Africa, that I've been to Africa, and I've never ever gone on the radio and say something. My own radio station, I did not even make a speech. I went there and I did all I do, I greet the brothers and sisters, and I didn't say nothing. A brother wanted to interview me on one of the radio, Lunsar Radio. And I got there and we have a quick, maybe about 5-10 minutes to say hi to the people, and that was it. I didn't get into the politics. I was even going out, and I had ones and ones who know I know that I wear plenty of bandanas. And there were times when I'm going out, a virgin sister and a sister said, no, you can't wear that bandana. And I said, why not? They said, the green is the color for that, and the red, don't wear those. And I said, wow. And I was governed in wearing certain, because one might think that you are supporting, and plus, I'm riding a motorbike, then I go into a car. On the car, we have got press. And if you have the press, you have to be neutral. Don't go there and say, because you will get bombarded, you will even get beaten up. And I went to Sierra Leone and I didn't say nothing. Because you know what, I'm not going to see something and don't speak of it. And there's so much in Sierra Leone that you're going to talk about. As I said to Ras Ocean, I've been to Ghana and I spoke, and a brother, even I went to see, let me give you an example of me in Africa. I remember I was going down, I was in Ghana, and Brother Kwame might know, the main general hospital down into the capital, and there was a bridge to go over, and this hospital, general hospital, you gotta go into a bridge, and the water was stagnant. The water was so stink. And I went on the radio and I spoke about it. And I said, where are the environment and control? I said, here is a hospital, and here is a water that's laying down beside the hospital. This shouldn't be happening. I know an MP rang up the radio station and said I should have conversed with him before I go. I said, who are you? I said, I'm a visitor to this country. You can't tell me what to say. I'm going to tell you what I think should happen. And he was upset. He was so upset and tell the radio and producer that don't bring this man on the radio. He eventually asked for me to come and see him. And when I went to his office, he went and hid. He didn't want to speak with me because the things I wanted to ask him and to say, I've already said it on the radio because he was a coward. Let's speak to Brother Kwame. Brother Kwame, my beloved. You know the hospital I'm talking down there in the city, that the water, the bridge and the water so stagnant in Ghana. Can't remember the name of the hospital. It's a main general hospital.
In Accra?
In Accra.
Oh,
Yeah, right over that bridge, yes?
Yeah, Kolebu.
And that hospital, that water is so stagnant and stink.
Well, you see, that's our so this is a coalition. They understand the importance of health. So they leave hospitals in a very, very kind of decadent.
And it's a beautiful hospital.
Yeah, I know. It was actually built by the Chinese. The British when they settled in Accra. But it was maintained by our Tajipur. As soon as the Tajipur was removed, the political leadership has decided to actually renovate it. And actually, in actual fact, Kolebu actually relies on donations from good doers or well wishers, rather than the government. So you see the state of Ghana, well not just Ghana, but the whole country, because all the African leaders, neglect to invest in their own healthcare. And rather than vote for healthcare, this is why in the country you have issues like infant mortality. Women dying given birth is a huge issue. country.
Yes, yes.
You have children on the fire, something good, because of the lack of, proper medicine and hospitals. This is why in many of our countries we lack even things like incubators. Right? So, and as you know, the theologians as well.
Yes.
True. So, most of our leaders didn't really pay attention to health, not knowing that our doctors even say this and always remind us your health is your wealth.
Brother Kwame, let me say this to plenty of women in this country, the privilege that they have got. And you go to Africa, I've seen pregnant women go to antenatal clinic and they stand up into a line in the sun for hours before they've been treated. And there's no way for them to rest, there's no chair that put in place for them to sit on. And these women, some of them would have to sit on the ground in the sun, because if they come out and lose their space, then that space is gone. Somebody else will take that space and they won't get that space back. So some of these sisters here, they've got privilege comparing to some of our sisters. So when Theresa May says she have 20 billion or 40 billion, I don't know how she's going to put that in Africa, my beloved.
Well, you know what she's doing, right? She's using aid money, so-called aid money. That's the money that Britain gives to Africa, so-called aid, right? You're going to use that as leverage, right? To get that investment that she's looking for.
Oh, yes.
To secure this country.
Oh, yes.
And when I was in Ghana, right, they're going to use aid money to try to facilitate water conservation in Ghana. Yeah? So we know how they use aid money to actually, try and, do their dirty maneuvers. And that's a given. That is actual foreign policy, foreign economic policy for European governments and America. To use their so-called aid money as leverage to get the contract that they want in Africa, right? But on the point you made about Malema, like I said before, Malema is a spy, he's an agent, right? And I said that I will reveal that in Brother Andrew's time because of time. You have to time on the show, right? But just to confirm, he is an agent. He's being funded by Western corporations.
That's what I see, and I was very surprised to see some of the meeting that he's the only African around some of these meetings right here in Europe. So I apologize to the caller, the listener who sent us the information last Friday when I said I didn't believe. So the listener, I don't know who you are, please accept my sincere apology. And so there you are, you have got my forgiveness, and I'm sorry that I actually didn't believe what you said.
Yes, quite indeed, because I was shocked myself. Well, I had, to be frank, the answer reservation about Malema. But when I wanted to dig deeper and found some papers, found some documents, found some transcripts, and piece it together. But even there's a leader, right, Black Land First Land, yeah. Right, he's even got evidence, right, of Malema being an agent and meeting these people in the West. You knew that he was actually at Davos, Malema?
No.
He was actually at Davos.
Okay.
Right? And he was supported by one of these Western companies that I was saying tonight. He was sent there to put his new policy. And one thing I will say about Malema is that when he first came, he talked about nationalization of South African industries, yeah? The same way as Mandela did, but because of the funding that he's been getting by Western industries, through our name some of them later, right? He's actually not, you don't hear Malema, listen to Malema carefully, right? He doesn't now talk about nationalization. Why is that? When EFF came out, they talked about nationalization as a key cornerstone of their economic policy to redistribute the land that they took back to, African people. But this has got funded, particularly in the last 3 years, right? And I'll talk about this later. He's now very, very excited about the issue of nationalization. Why? Well, asking the sister's question, she wanted to know what companies were there, right? Now, there's a campaign group called War on Want, right? For instance, over 100 corporations and companies listed on the London Stock Exchange, who, like Brother Paul mentioned a while ago, they control resources in Africa worth at least 1.5 trillion US dollars, which is about 800 billion pounds, yeah? Right? And they include, right, 6.6 billion barrels of oil and million, right, ounces of gold. That figure is equivalent to the GDP of Mexico. Now, these corporations include BP, they include Rio Tinto, mining company, they include Anglo Ashanti, mining company, they include Barclays Bank, right, they include Standard Chartered, they include Acacia Mining Company, right, amongst others. So basically, these companies are basically mineral and commodities companies, like the one you just mentioned, right? You know, who are the, you know, and this is where Britain's new wealth, like I mentioned about Kensington tap resources, these companies, Rio Tinto, BP, Anglo Ashanti, you know, Acacia Mining, these companies have been lined up, are being lined up to siphon the wealth of Southern Africa and also Kenya. Yeah? So that's the answer to the simple question. Right? These are the companies, you know, 101 companies, right, listed on the British Stock Exchange. Just go on the British Stock Exchange, you know, just Google FTSE 100, yeah? And particularly look at the mining sector, the mining and banking sector. Those are the companies, right, that made, you know, surplus to, you know, South Africa and Kenya and Nigeria. Particularly Nigeria, you know, oil, BP, you know, we know Shell, the Anglo-Dutch company, right? They've been doing a lot of the oil exploration and oil drilling and also the oil manufacture of Nigeria.
British, one of the things that you have missed out, and I haven't heard much said about it. One of the most special mineral in Africa come from South Africa is white metal. It's sought after around the world, and it's been actually mined by a European stroke, a British company. That is gone up. It's been hush so far, and it's one of the most special away from diamond. It is more precious than gold, and it's a British company that is actually mining that type of resource out of Africa.
Yeah.
Make me sick.
And that's why the people need to understand the native land act of 1920 South Africa that gave the British African company on the Special Road, who was financed by the British state and the British monarchy, right, gave him carte blanche and license to carve up South Africa. And that's why today the land issue is very, very present in South Africa, because they know, the white people know, right, particularly ones about native land of the 1920s, that when they carved up 80% of the land themselves, they were sitting on the minerally rich, fertile land in South Africa.
I want to take you back, but Kwame, time is running out. I'm sorry, but there's a question that's coming to my head, and I need to ask you this question. Go back to Julius Malema. When Julius is now talking about, as we're talking about land, when Julius Malema is talking about the reclaiming of land back from the British to the African people, what does he mean? Is it I am shocked because I wouldn't have expected a freedom fighter to be asking back for the land to go back to the sovereign right of the indigenous people. And that's what he's now asking for, the land to be taken back. And Theresa May is a plant, as he said. Theresa May is no good for Africa. So I'm hearing it's a double standard from what we are now reading about him and from what he's saying. Now, it left me dangled in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, just remember, it's playing a very dangerous game. He's trying to play both sides, but he can't, because like I said, he's been funded by Western NGOs, some of whom will name later on, right? And the fact of the matter is, right, the EFF main agenda or main program of nationalization of South African industry and resources to pull that money from a few wealthy elites up to the monopoly. That includes Cyril Ramaphosa, because let's not forget Cyril Ramaphosa is also a citizen of puppet, because he benefited from that little black economic empowerment scheme that was set up by Thabo Mbeki to look at giving the wealth back to African people. But most of that was a cabal of ANC elites and white elites. Right? So Cyril Ramaphosa is part of that elite who have kept the wealth of the country to themselves and not to the masses. So Julius Malema is playing a dangerous game, right? Because he has not talked about nationalization. Nationalization of the South African resources was the cornerstone of his economic blueprint, right? But like I said, because he's being funded by the enemy, he has been very focused on that. So what I will ask the EFF, right, is what is your policy on nationalization? If you can answer that for me, very good, right? They can't. We know they've been compromised by white capital, and that's something that I'll talk about over ownership tonight. White capital is plays a very powerful role in the whole economic picture of South Africa in particular. That's why I said that at the beginning. South Africa is the jewel in the crown as far as Britain is concerned. Right? They need to further encourage South Africa because Brexit is going to leave them destitute. This is why they need those resources in Kenya and South Africa in particular to actually, keep Britain afloat. Because after Brexit, it will be very difficult for them. Because the access to the European market, that 500 million from the European market, is something that they enjoy. But now, because they're now leaving, they're not going to have the same privileges and same access to that market. Which is why now they're making a last-ditch attempt to try and safeguard their interest in South Africa and exploit the interest in Kenya and South Africa, because that's where they.
Brother Kwame, a question. Doesn't sovereign right in indigenous people mean the African blacks? I don't know if you read this question right. Doesn't sovereign right indigenous people means the African blacks?
No, because Africans haven't got any sovereign rights. This is what I'm thinking. This is under the native land act of 1913, carved by Cecil Rhodes and the Queen and the government of this country. Yeah, African people lost their sovereign rights. That law has never been amended. That is what constitutes the land question in South Africa today. People should Google it. The Native Land Act of 1913. This is where we are at the juncture. African people have no lost their sovereign rights. And this is why it's very hard for them to get that back. Because after that act of 1913, the white people did what is called land property rights. They now had the title to that land that they sold. They now put the intellectual property rights on the land that they sold. Yeah? So this is why black people have the property to that land. Because under that native title, 1913, African people lost sovereignty to that land.
I hear you. Brother Kwame, I want to take one more call before we end the program. Thank you very much. Give thanks. Let's take this call here on Galaxy. Please. I'm so sorry because I didn't know that you've asked me to. I'm coming to you, caller 568. I'm coming to you. I didn't know that this caller asked me to ask Ras Osing about Hilary Beckles. I don't know where you and I have this conversation, and I should F off. Come on. We are so ignorant. Why are we so ignorant? When did you ask me to put this question to Ras Osing? I don't know. And I'm not giving here to your negativeness. I'm just showing you that there are negative people out there that listen to Galaxy. And we can never change when we behave like this. Why are you going to tell me to F off when you never ask me to talk? Me don't ask me question. Or am I going to know what they ask Ras Osing about Hilary Beckles? Rastafari. We have got problem. I tell you, said we have got hospital patient out there listen to Galaxy. Good afternoon to you, my beloved. You're on Galaxy 568. Rastafari.
We spend our mental energy on some nonsense. I just want to say, Rasta, where are our solutions? We know about these people. We've been talking about this. There's too much thought, no nothing.
Well, that's what Russell Singh is saying. We need to take action. But what are the action that we propose to take?
Us get together that know what we're doing and just make the thing work. Everybody talking about all the commodities in Africa. I have a commodity company I've been running for 2 years, and I'm dealing with moving commodities from Ghana, from Guinea to Dubai. Anybody want to get involved legally, please? Because I'm just tired of it, man.
Okay, family.
We ain't got this, we ain't got that, we want to go back. And they doing nothing.
There you go.
Not a thing.
Not at all. Just talk.
It's become boring, right?
Exactly. And we hear plenty of them. We have.
Somebody now to, I said to myself, but wait, I just still talk about Rasta. Why don't we just get up and do the work? Me and your virgin in my talk about games in Jamaica. Let us come together, to know what we have to do and just do it, please.
I support that. Give thanks, family.
People out there, and some of these people are not doing nothing. They're going nowhere.
Just talk, just like the one who sent the text message say I must F off. He just show you that there are people who have got you see, as I said, my dad always talk about empty barrel make the most noise, and so we're empty, and so that's what we do.
Okay.
Give thanks.
May I show the idea? I'm running my business. If people want to get involved and make money, link me. No, you know more chatbot. We ain't got this. We ain't got.
You need what you need to do. I'll tell you what you need to do. You need to link Brother Arnold to get your details up on our site. So because we're taking up, we're having what do you call it now? A system where you can be seen whenever time people, we need business people like yourself, trade people like yourself. So we're doing a database. Brother Arnold wants to speak to someone like you. So please link up with Brother Arnold so we can get your details in our data bank.
Okay, when Arnold come on again?
He's on later on this afternoon. I think he might be making a live link. Somehow I know he's around somewhere, but I think he'll be making a live link. But later on, this evening from 10 to 12.
Okay, now we'll link him then.
You need to do that. Give thanks, fam. The Vibration Galaxy, as we take your call. Right, I ain't gonna take any more calls. Thank you, my beloved brother. More strength to you. Chief, Brother Kwame mentioned there's evidence that Julius Malema is an agent. Please bring the evidence. This person wants to know what is the name of the document, transcript, or paper, so it can be read, or other people want to get the evidence for themselves. So, brother Kwame, and the other brother as well who rang me and gave me the information. I haven't got the paper where you gave me the information and the site that I should have gone on. But someone rang us last Friday, and I was very annoyed with the individual, and I said I didn't believe. And so Brother Kwame went and did his research, and he came back with the information. So Brother Kwame, listeners are asking for you to bring this forward so they themselves can achieve some of this vibration that you're now passing on. And we have got somebody else who wants, I can't read out all these text messages. There's so many of the text messages. Someone want to find out from Brother Everton that they want to go to Jamaica. Should ask Brother Everton to ring back because he wants to go into Jamaica to work and is their job in Jamaica. Listen, Jamaica, 65%, I think it's 65% of the 3.5 million people in Jamaica are out of a job. Unless you're going to go there to do a business, then you ain't going to find a job easy in Jamaica. Let me tell you that for sure. If you are qualified in whatever field, then there's a job there for you. You can't just go there and say, I want a job and get a job. And I think you're just feeling for something, all right? It's not as easy. You can't go to Jamaica. If you're going to Jamaica with less than £3,000 in your pocket, then don't go to Jamaica because Jamaica is expensive, all right? I can give you that amount of information. You have to have a little bit more than £3,000, especially if you haven't got somewhere to stay. If you have got somewhere to stay, you can take £1,000 and then you say, gosh, I haven't got no money. But if you haven't got nowhere to go to stay, don't take £3,000 in Jamaica. Take more than £3,000. You'll feel much better off. That's the vibration here in Galaxy as we take your call. Let me say thank you very much for your participation in the program. Without you, wouldn't be an interactive program. I'll be now leaving the capable hands of the construction crew. Is here to continue building. I don't know how high he's building this tower, but he's been doing it for some time, and he's got all his workmen in place and shovel and everything ready and rearing to go. Thank you for your participation, as I said, and I'll catch you again here in Galaxy. Without you, wouldn't be an interactive program. I believe in you right now into his capable hands. Bye-bye for now. Show. I need to stop this. I need to stop this. Thank you. Yes, family. Rastafari, how is the eye? Yes? Not here. Chinese, and yet you're saying the Chinese is good. And some of us, you can't be knocking Europe when Jamaica is run by the colonial system. The crown system in Jamaica still is subjugated about what you call